So in this set of videos, we are going to make a scratch game that simulates driving a rover around the Martian landscape. So your rover, in a minute, you're going to draw from above. We're either thinking of one of the existing rovers, like this one here that's already on Mars, or some of the designs that are being looked at for when we actually send manned missions to Mars. So let's have a quick look at what the scratch game is going to look like. So when I start the game, the rocks go to random locations. I'm just going to restart that. So my mission is to go and get the sample from up here. So I'm controlling with the keys. I've got the sample, and then I've got to make it to the green base. And yay, there we go. So just to demonstrate, vanish the sample, one of these rocks should hit, and off we go. Right, so how do we build this? So the first thing you're going to do is design a sprite. So this is what we're going to end up with. It's not a lot of code, this is just the code here. But let's have a look at how we're going to design our first sprite. So if you don't already have a Scratch account, you're going to have to create one. You should have one. Best bet is to base it on your school Google account and use the same password as your school one. I'd also write down the details somewhere as well, otherwise you're going to forget it. So I'm going to go File and New, just create a new account. And the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this, and I'm going to create my own character. So hovering here, choose a sprite. So I'm not going to choose a sprite, I'm going to go to the paint option, and I'm in this window here. So I'm going to draw some sets of wheels. I'm going to go to the fill color, get a sort of browny color. Let's hover around. There we go, that's probably going to work. And I'm also going to change the fill to this sort of gradient type fill. I just want that color there to go to black. There we go. Now I'm going to create 6 wheels. So I'm going to go to the select tool here. I want them all to be the same. So I'm just going to copy and paste these. Now something I didn't realize is that this direction here to the right is the front of the sprite. So if we want our sprite to drive forwards, it has to be facing to the right. I did not want to do that. I'm not going to spend too long doing this. You can tweak yours a lot more. And in fact, what I could have done here, I'll just demonstrate what I could have done. Once I had the 3 up there, it would be much simpler just to copy and paste those 3 like that. I'm then going to put a body over the top of these. There we go. So this is supposed to look like 6 wheels underneath and my body on top. And I'm going to go, I don't know, go for a greenish body. Let's change the gradient on that to something like that. And then I could start adding bits on top of this. Now, in terms of the size of the sprite, it's way too big for the game over here right now. So I'm just going to select the whole area and just reduce it down a bit. Now, the other thing I need to be conscious of is this crosshair here. I need to line it up exactly on that, otherwise it won't, that's what it's going to rotate around. So I'll give you a demonstration in a moment. So if that's my sprite, and when I write the code and I want it to rotate, if it's not centered on that, it will do this sort of big circle around here. So once you've got your sprite, once you're happy with your design, get the size right, but also make sure that the whole thing is centered around that crosshair. And this side here is the front of it. Otherwise, you're going to find it drives off sideways. Okay, I'm going to do this in sets of videos. So I'm going to stop there with this one. That was just to set your sprite up. Actually, I'm just going to carry on and show you one more thing. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to cover this tool here, the sort of bevel tool. So when we used Adobe Illustrator, it's very simple. So if I want to add some curved edges, this is just a very simple version of the pen tool. So I can add an anchor point, add an anchor point. If I click on one, it should just take it away. I just press delete there. So I'm going to add an anchor point, select that one, press delete, and I can start to get sort of these curved shapes. And delete, add and add, select and delete. And just like the pen tool, you've got this sort of, you can control here. I don't want to do that with this, so I'm just going to undo that. There we go. So I'm going to leave that as my Mars rover. You can spend a bit longer working on yours. In the next video, we'll look at how we move it around.